jump right into it because I don't want to waste people's time. So every single war that they've started, you have to understand, George Bush took us into Iraq. Obama took us into 7 different countries. He dropped 30,000 plus bombs. ISIS was expanding in Syria and Iraq, taking over major cities. There was a huge refugee crisis, which really helped destabilize lots of Europe. There's a lot of revolutions going on there now. Libya was invaded. The leader, Muammar Gaddafi, got murdered, and now there's slave trade and organ harvesting in Libya. This type of stuff happens in the world. So how does this happen and nobody cares and nobody notices and people support it? How does it happen? They always use women and children and a media story that no one can disagree with. So I post this on Instagram, and my black friends who love my rap music say, Anomaly, how are you going to support this racist? You can't possibly take that stance. And this is how the media operates. They do something. They use a little picture of a kid that's doctored, and they sit him up, and he's all bleeding, and they say, you don't like little kids? Are you kidding me? Now we have to go to Syria and try to murder the leader, even though we just murdered the leader of Libya, and now there's slave trade and organ harvesting in Libya, and literally Africans are getting enslaved in Libya. No one seems to care. Literal slavery in the 21st century, 2018. No one cares because they sold you that. Vice News acts like they're liberal. It's a bunch of little white hipster liberals. No offense, but it's just true. They sold the Libyan war. You can go on their Twitter and they're saying, yay, yay, we went to Libya and we killed the leader, and now there's slavery. So white liberals sold you slavery in Libya. That's just happened. The people at Vice sold that. So did most liberal news outlets. Syrian war, they used a picture of a kid. The border, they always use women and children and narratives that you can't agree with. Why do they do that? Because no sane, rational person wants to go to Africa in the Middle East and murder a bunch of people and enslave Africans. Nobody wants to do that. So they can't just tell you that that's what they're going to do. They can't tell you it's over oil. They're not going to tell you that it's over the financial system, that, maybe they're doing a gold-backed currency and it's not good for the petrodollar. They can't tell you that. So they're not going to tell you that. So they're going to lie to you. They're going to use doctored media stories about women and children to sell you the murder and displacement of millions of people. They've done it so many times, and for some reason I'm the crazy person. Anomaly, you can't possibly disagree with this narrative. If that's what you think, of course I am going to disagree with the narrative, because that means you got played again, you got set up. And the irony is, the people that are the most mad at me, they act like they're standing up against white people, but they're always getting played by white people. It's like you're getting manipulated, used, you're getting lied to by white and light-skinned liberals. Some of them Jewish, some of them white, some of them black, some of them Asian, I'm sure. Now we're multicultural, so there's all types of liberals, but you're getting sold the lie by the white people that you claim to hate, which makes it even more ridiculous, because their agenda, when you take away, and I'm going to get to the Maga story and stuff, but just hear me out, because everyone could talk about it, this and that. This is the stuff you need to hear. Their total agenda is really high taxes, less personal freedom, no self-accountability, no self-responsibility, the breaking up of the family, the, perversion of gender and sexuality and stuff. And I don't care what you are or what you do, but it's like, there's one gender, there's two genders, there's three genders, there's 50. They're trying to confuse you. They're trying to drive you absolutely insane so they can steal your money, start another war, get you okay with raising taxes. If someone came to you and said, hey, can I steal $10,000 a year from you or $20,000 a year from you, do you think you'd say yes? No, they have to mask it in the poor and black people, and we're saving the world. And then they steal your money. And then you're like, wait, I am black, and I will support. That's the white liberals' trickery at work. Malcolm X tried to warn people about that, but it didn't work out so well for him. Didn't work out that well for Martin Luther King either. Martin Luther King Jr., they talk about how great he is every year. Google Martin Luther King Jr. suicide letter, and you'll find out that government agencies, the same one that liberals are now standing up saying, Trump can't possibly disagree with these agencies, they wrote a suicide letter to Martin Luther King Jr. and told him to kill himself. It's in CNN, it's in Vox, it's in Washington Post, it's in every single major news station. That happened, and no one you're still getting played by the same person. So let me get to how ridiculous this story is. And first of all, these adults and celebrities, these psychopathic celebrities who are masking their mental illness and they're masking a lot of their flaws in anti-Trumpism. I don't care if you don't like Trump. There's a lot of good people who oppose, Trump. But a lot of people think just because they're mentally ill or they have problems that like hating Trump is going to make them seem more normal. It's like, take care of yourself. There's always been people like mentally ill and people who have huge issues for decades now have been scapegoating it in their ex-boyfriend, their ex-girlfriend. It's this person, it's that person. Trump's the new easy target, and a lot of these celebrities need help, especially calling for, the assault of a minor, regardless of the situation, is absolutely insane. But let's get to the actual story. So CNN is running the story. The liberal news is saying, this Native American guy, he just got mobbed by a bunch of MAGA hat racist people saying build a wall. And then I even read in the CNN, they said there were 4 black African Americans preaching the Bible and, they got in a confrontation. No, they were black Israelites. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. And it's all going to be out of the love because I have no disrespect or hate towards black Israelites. Freedom of speech, do your thing. I'm not from Israel. I don't know if you are or not. You're allowed to make your case. I don't really care, to be honest. But they're not just reading the Bible. They're black Israelites. And if you know anything about black Israelites, they go on the streets and they're extremely aggressive. And it's not my vibe, to be honest. I'd rather even listen to like Louis Farrakhan. I find him, if I want to hear that type of perspective, he's a little bit more calm, at least. Like black Israelites are always screaming, they're always yelling at people, they're like aggressively harassing people on the streets all the time, just like yelling at the top of their lungs at them. Really, really wild stuff. And they have the right to say that. I don't really care. I get it. Freedom of speech, right to protest. But they're not just Bible readers, they're black Israelites. So the reason I'm bringing this up is not to disrespect black Israelites. Much love, God bless. It's all love from me. But the white liberal and the Jewish liberal, black Israelites hate white liberals. Black Israelites hate Jews. Like, you're not going to find someone who hates Jews more than black Israelites. They don't like Jews. They think Jews are lying. They hate white people. They want you to go back to Europe. They say it all the time. The irony of this is the black Israelites manufactured this entire story. They literally told the kids go back to Europe. They said America will be destroyed. They were screaming at the black kid, calling him the N-word. He's the black kid with the white kids. There were a few black kids. He said, get out. They're going to steal your organs. Like being really crazy towards a black kid. He was being mean towards black kids. They were being super extreme. They manufactured this story. And who's the one that runs and publishes it? Who's the one that spread this and causes chaos and division? Of course, there's all types of liberals, but it's mostly white and Jewish liberals. But the irony is black Israelites hate you. They don't like you. They want you dead. They want you back in Europe. They want you out of America. They want America destroyed. Like, they're not shy about it. So why I'm saying this before I even get to the story, because anyone could talk about, yeah, it's wrong, it's right, blah, blah, blah. That's basic stuff. I don't do basic here. Liberals and progressives are the easiest group to control, manipulate, walk over. They're doormats, they're staircases. They just get walked over and used by every extremist group in the world. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I have a lot of liberal and progressive friends. I have a lot of black activist friends. They're all mad at me because I won't just lie to them. And I won't just say the media story that CNN and Washington Post and Vox and Sean King that they manufacture. I won't say it because I understand what their agenda is. And their agenda is not anti-racism, anti-sexism. Their agenda is division. Their agenda is money. Their agenda is pumping you up with pills and making you fat so you kill yourself. We got obesity. I mean, heart disease is disgusting in America. You got hundreds of thousands of people dying. You have more people overdosing from drugs than ever. You have more suicides than ever. Why? Because nobody's happy because they feed you the lie. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not happy. I'm never going to kill myself. Spoiler alert. I'm not suicidal. I would never kill myself if something happens. Wasn't me, because I wouldn't do it because I'm actually happy. Because I don't buy into the agenda of the lie. They want you to be weak. They want you to be foolish. They want you to be naive. They want you to be dumb. They want you to be poor. They want you to be fat. Because if you're poor, fat, dumb, naive, foolish, and weak, they can convince you to hand over your money to them. They can convince you to hand over your control to them. They can convince you to start another war. Here, we're going to enslave people in Libya and try to kill the leader of Syria. Oh, here, you should do that because I'm fighting racism, sexism, and I love gay people more than Anomaly. No, you don't. They're using you, LGBT community. They're using you, Black America. They're using you, Black activists. They're using you to push their agenda of stealing your stuff. It's an agenda of big government. And Trump is for small government. He's not perfect. I'm not even saying he's doing the greatest job in the world, whatever. I'll give you that. But his agenda is not huge government. They want to sell you out to the EU and UN, so it could be like a Hitler style where Europe controls half the world. They're trying to take over Europe. They say, no, we own you now. You have to listen to the leader of France and Germany. No, we don't. We're America. We don't listen to France and Germany. We listen to Trump because he's our president. We don't listen to the media, who's run by a bunch of corrupt liars who literally lie to you to start wars in other countries. That's not what we do. The reason I'm saying this is because progressives and liberals, I love you guys. I know that you're kind-hearted, good soul, black activists. Trust me, I agree with maybe 70% of what you're saying. I know the government's corrupt. I know that there's bad white people. The problem is you're pointing at the wrong person. You're pointing at the person that's trying to save you and knocking down the person who's trying to save you, and you always get played by the worst white people in the world who literally enslave Africans. Quite literally. There's literally Africans enslaved today because of white people, and a black president as well, but others. And you always pander to those white people. They'll have you on CNN and say, oh yeah, you're a great black activist. It's because they want to fool you. And there's no easier example of this is you got the black Israelites taking advantage of liberal progressives and liberal Jews, even though they hate white people and they hate Jewish people. Whether it's Linda Sarsour, whether it's the black Israelites, whether it's Sean King, whether it's literally ISIS, whether it's, human traffickers at the border, whether it's, the world's worst criminals. Everybody uses white liberals and white progressives because you guys are doormats. You guys are so weak and foolish, and this is why they have stuff like the Women's March. I went yesterday, a lot of great women. I love you guys, but they don't want you to be strong women. They don't want you to be empowered. They don't want you to love this country. They don't want you to appreciate the First and Second Amendment, which is the right to say and do what you want. That's why I stand up for black Israelites, and the right to bear arms. I mean, don't give up your guns, obviously. Every Hitler, Stalin, Mao, Pot, they all steal the guns. Literally, there's a reason that big government, high taxes, gun control, they all go hand in hand. It's a system of control. And Trump and the founding fathers, and yeah, you might not like everything that Trump says, his is a system of personal freedom. He's trying to save your personal liberty. He's trying to save your money from the federal government. And they're using all these fake manipulated media stories to get you to hand all of your money and control over to the federal government. It's insane. And liberals and progressives, all they do is pander to everybody except for conservatives and Christians, which is fine, whatever you want to do. But they're so easily played. Black Israelites, Linda Sarsour, it could be ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra, you name it. You can play a white liberal. And these people, as soon as you give them power, the white liberal and progressive will give all these extremist groups power, control. Oh, we love black people. We love Hispanics. We love Native Americans. We're so not racist. We're the white liberals and progressives. We love you. We love you. We're going to divide the country. We're going to divide the country. We're going to raise taxes. We're the white liberal. We love you. We love you. They're going to kill you the second that they get power because they hate white people and they hate Jews. How stupid are you guys? Now to the actual Native American situation. So the whole thing is not only completely fabricated. You have the black Israelites. You have the one Native American guy standing next to the black Israelites yelling at white people, and yelling at the black kid, calling him the N-word and Kanye West, harassing people, telling him to go back to Europe, saying America's going to be destroyed. They're literally just chilling there, and maybe I'm sure they're saying stuff. They're like 14 and 15. If there was a 14-year-old or 15-year-old black activist who loved Hillary Clinton and Obama and was yelling at me, I still would take the high road. I don't care if it was a white liberal little kid. I'm not going to scream at a little kid or harass or threaten a little kid. I mean, how much of a pathetic piece of crap adult are you? Kathy Griffin and all these, whatever, that country, that like communist country star's name, it's like Johnny Johnson or I don't even know what his name is. He's harassing and threatening a 15-year-old. Are you joking? This is ridiculous. Imagine if the kid was black. They would say, oh my God, that's racist, sexist, and xenophobic. But if it's a white Christian or Catholic kid, they're like, yeah, kill him, hit him in the balls. Let's ruin his life. Let's kick him out of school. It's because they're anti-white, anti-Western civilization, anti-man. Why? Because that's where the strength is. I'm not saying they're strong black people. That's why they want you to not be together. That's why the black and, family rate is at an all-time low. You have no family staying together anymore, and it's bad in the white community too and getting worse. They don't want your family to stay together because they could take control of you. In Africa and the Middle East, there's not a lot of personal freedom. The only place that there's the most freedom, go to Venezuela, go to Nicaragua. You don't have the freedom of speech. They'll blow your brains out for questioning the president. Here, you can march in the street with no clothes on and they'll applaud you on CNN. It's because we live in America. We have the first two amendments. They don't want you to have that. So they understand that Trump is like the strongest thing going in America. Just like Bolsonaro in Brazil. They give him bad press. It's because he's a strong man. Black community. They don't want strong men in your community. You know this. Black Israelites know this. Black activists know this. Common from Sean. They don't want strong black men. They don't want strong white men. They don't want strong Western men. Because strong men protect everyone. There's a reason that the NBA is better than the WNBA. Why? Men are better at basketball. They're more physically strong. So it's not a sexist thing to say men protect women. Women can protect themselves in America. Why? Because of the Second Amendment. They're not physically strong. So here women have the right to bear arms. They don't have to cover up and get beaten in public for disagreeing with, the flavor of the day in whatever Middle Eastern country. You don't have freedom over there. So they're attacking Trump and they're using this story because they want to convince you to give up your money, power, freedom, and vote for people that are going to go over to Africa and enslave more people. It's what they do time and time again, and people fall for it every time. So in this story, the dude walks up to them. You have black Israelites yelling at them. You have everybody there harassing these kids. They're pretty much standing up for their black friend. They're saying, we love you, bro. If you watch that clip and you don't feel the love there, there's no racism there. They're literally loving their black friend while they're getting screamed at by black extremists. And then the dude with the pan, or whatever it is, a drum, he walks up to them. If you can't see that, if there was a Republican, I call out conservatives all the time. I tell them how foolish they are. I tell them that they talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez too much. I tell them that they're annoying. I tell them that they're hypocrites on free speech. They say, we love free speech, but then they want to ban Louis Farrakhan on Twitter, and then they want to not invite Milo to colleges. I call out conservatives all the time, but liberals, if you can't watch that clip and understand that they were not the aggressors and that the Native American walked right in front of their face, literally, and was just banging a drum, and the kid just stood there, and they're cheering and having fun and chanting along. Like, literally, they could have been way meaner. If I was younger, who knows? I could have been meaner. When I was young, I was 14 or 15 or 16. I was an idiot. I was an idiot 2 years ago. I mean, I was an idiot last year. I'm still kind of an idiot, but they're 15. And the dude's banging a drum in their face. If you can't tell that he walked into them when there's video footage, what are you going to do when there's artificial intelligence that can manipulate video and audio? It's already almost here to the point where you're not going to be able to determine what's real or what's not. They can have a fake anomaly sitting here, an artificial intelligence anomaly, telling you to go start a war in Kenya. What are you going to do then if you can't even tell the truth to yourself now? If you're living a lie now? And that's why I call out the left. I tell the right when they're lying, and they do it quite frequently. But the left, the whole ideology of the left is a lie. There's a reason suicides are going up. There's a reason opioids are going up. There's a reason that this country is bowing over to communism and literally going to get taken over by a culture that doesn't like us. It's because they're pumping us with weakness. They're pumping us with pills. They're pumping us with stuff that demasculates us and takes away our testosterone. By design, they don't want strong men. Why is there a war on men? Why is there a Gillette commercial calling out men and not women? Are women flawless? Are men inherently more flawed than women? I don't think so. If you talk to every woman, they'll say, oh, I don't like women. I don't like women. Why do they say that? It's because women are not like superior to men. We both have our position in society. Women are beautiful and intelligent. Men are beautiful and intelligent. There's a war on men. And I'm not exaggerating. There's a reason that the Gillette commercial can do that. But if I had a tampon company and I said, women, you got to stop the drama. You got to stop buying so many high heels and just stereotyping women and making it seem like, women, you got to stop taking half of your husband's money and always winning in divorce court no matter how good of a person you are. Do you think they'd allow me to do a Tampax commercial like that? Of course not. My life would be destroyed. Could I threaten a black kid's life, a teenager? First of all, I would never do it to any race, religion, gender. Second of all, no. Because see where they're attacking. See what you're allowed to say. See what you're not allowed to say. Why is there a word for, if you talk to a Jewish person or hate on a Jewish person or say anything that they want to shut you up about, they'll call you anti-Semitic. If you say anything about Islam, if you criticize it, if you're harsh, or if you honestly just talk about it, they'll say you're Islamophobic. What's the word for anti-Christian or anti-Catholic? Can you figure out the word? Let me think. There's actually not a word, because they don't want Catholics and Christians around. They're anti-Catholic and Christian. Why is Steven Spielberg putting out 20,000, I'm exaggerating, probably just one. Why are there so many movies about the Holocaust? Because there's a lot of Jewish people in the movie industry, and they want you to learn about the Holocaust. Okay, that's great. I'll give you that. Why is there no movie on Armenian genocide? How come there's no movie on the 1.5 million Christians that were slaughtered by the Turkish government? Because they don't care. Because they want to do it again. Because they don't care about Christians and Catholics. There was a Catholic and Christian genocide in Armenia, and there's no movies about it because they don't want to teach you about it. They teach you about Hitler all the time. Hitler's a bad guy, yeah, for sure. Why don't they teach you about Stalin? Stalin killed more people under communism. They don't teach you about Stalin because they're trying to be the new Stalin. They're trying to put Stalinist ideologies in Europe and America and all over the world. And people like Trump and Bolsonaro, whether you agree with them or not, they're fighting back against it. And that's why they can't stand him. That's why they don't like Trump. You think they don't like Trump because he's racist? Are you kidding me? If Trump was really racist, they would have him and promote him and endorse him and be a PR team for him. If Trump would go kill Africans like other, phony sellout leaders who will suck the teat $100 million out of the pharmacy and military industrial complex industry, they'd promote Trump in a second. They don't dislike Trump because he's racist. Are you kidding me? How stupid could you be? They don't like Trump because he's calling out the Federal Reserve. They don't like Trump because he's anti-war. They don't like Trump because he's calling out endless wars. They don't like Trump because he's dialing back the cultural Marxism and communism that they're trying to implement. They don't care if he was a racist. You think they care about the LGBT community? All you have to do is look at a Democrat video from 2005. They don't give a shit about gay people. Are you kidding? They're anti-gay marriage. Marriage is between a man and a woman. Marriage is between... Oh, I'm so sorry, gay people. I need your votes now, so I really love you more than Anomaly. No, they don't. I'm consistent. I never cared if gay people got married. Doesn't matter to me. But they want your votes. They want us weak. There's a reason they don't talk about Stalin. There's a reason they don't talk about the Armenian genocide. And the Armenian genocide, first of all, you want to talk about interesting things. The Young Turks were the perpetrators of the Armenian genocide. Search who the Young Turks were when it comes to the Armenian genocide. There's a news network, the biggest news network on YouTube, talk about an upside-down, broken, fallen world, called the Young Turks. Imagine if there was a news network called the Young Nazis. How well would that go over? Oh, no. We're not the young Nazis like Hitler. We're different Nazis. We're just like revolutionaries. We're not the young Nazis. That's what the Young Turks mean, but it has no significant cultural value, not because the Armenian genocide wasn't real or good, because they don't actually care about the Armenian genocide. So you're allowed to call yourself after the perpetrators of a genocide, make a news network, act like you're progressive or liberals, because that's how foolish and weak progressive liberals are. You can't say what you want about conservatives and Trump supporters, but you can't really fool some. I mean, you can fool them. You could say, hey, patriot, let's start a war, and they might do it, but they're a lot harder. It's a lot harder to manipulate people on the right. And there's millions of Black and Hispanic and Native American Trump supporters as well. I mean, half of my following seems like it's Hispanic, not that it matters. I have Native American supporters that literally hate communists and know exactly what I'm talking about. So have an intellectual discussion. If you want to attack my ideas or disagree with what I'm saying, let's talk about it. I have a whole debate platform called Make America Debate Again. I'm ready to debate, but stop using race, religion, and gender. Trump's Hispanic support went up this last week. During all the border fiasco, only foolish white liberals who literally sip Starbucks and text too much, they're the only ones who buy this stuff. It's like Hispanics. You think Hispanics don't know that a border wall works? You think Hispanics are dumb? Some of them, yeah, the progressive dumbed down ones, the ones who've had all their testosterone sucked out of their bodies, they're like, yeah, no wall. But like 13% more Hispanics went for Trump now because they're like, this guy makes sense. I mean, he doesn't lie to me. Hispanics are overwhelmingly very religious. Hispanics overwhelmingly love their family. Hispanics overwhelmingly I'm not saying overwhelmingly, but they're not like super pro-gay like progressives. You know, they're very religious and they love their family. And it's to each their own. But it's like the white liberal and Jewish liberal and white progressive and all progressives. They're the biggest liars. They're the biggest deceivers, and they're the most naive, foolish people. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this to help you. Jewish liberals, black Israelites hate you. No one hates you more than black Israelites. Why are you opening up your platform to black Israelites? It's like you guys are just asking to be, and then they're going to, oh, it's anti-Semitic. No, I'm not being anti-Semitic. I have Jewish friends. I have a lot of Jewish friends, literally, that love this platform and know I'm saying they don't like you. I like you. They don't like you. Why are you literally pandering to every extremist group? We love the Women's March. It's getting run over by, extremists who don't even want women to have the freedoms here. They'd rather have their own religious ideology implemented where women are not allowed to do what they want to do. So the progressive liberal paradox with who they will partner with is one of the goofiest things on the planet, but I understand why. Someone said I'm a Hispanic Aripo and I agree with Trump. Of course, because all the smart people, all the people who aren't dumbed down, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're black, a woman, white, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, I have Muslim supporters, we know the drill. We know what's going on. It's the progressives and the liberals manipulating every single story to steal your money, to steal your control, and to steal your taxes. And I want to go back to the Armenian genocide real quick, because the way that they did it was very eerily similar to what they're doing, minus the slaughtering. How did they get away with the Armenian genocide? How did they murder 1.5 million Christians? Or more or less, I don't know the exact number. It's hard to do, so what they did first is they rounded up the intellectuals. They rounded up all of the intellectuals and all the leaders, and then they slaughtered them first, and then everybody else was easy. Because if you have no leaders, they slaughter them. Martin Luther King was pretty cool. Yeah, he got killed. Oh, Malcolm X was pretty cool. Yeah, he got killed. JFK was pretty cool. Yeah, he got killed. So now we don't have any leaders. All right, that's fine. All right, let's go to 2018. What's happening to all the strongest leaders on the right side and the conservative side? Love or hate Alex Jones. He's one of the most consistent anti-globalist, anti-establishment media figures out there. Whether you love him or hate him, I know a lot of conservatives hate him. A lot of conservatives love him. A lot of liberals hate him. He was one of the strongest ones. Where is he? He's banned on Facebook, banned on Twitter, banned on Spotify, banned on Roku, banned on Apple Podcasts. He's not anywhere because they banned him from the App Store. You can't find Alex Jones besides the website, and they're probably trying to shut that down. Well, Milo was pretty strong. Why was Milo strong? Well, he was a gay Jewish guy who liked black guys. He has like a black husband. So Milo's a narrative breaker. Super intellectual, regardless of what you want to say. Yeah, he has a checkered past. He said some things you shouldn't say. He's a narrative breaker. They don't know what to do with Milo. How do we call a guy racist or a Nazi that's Jewish, gay, and dates and has sex with black guys? They didn't know what to do with Milo, so they banned him from everywhere. And even conservatives banned him. Cowardly, pathetic, conservative Republicans. There you go, liberals. You want to hear me talk about, there's so many cowardly, pathetic conservatives as well. Just like the ones, we can't talk to Milo because we bend over to the liberal media too. They're cowardly as well. So, Gavin McInnes was doing pretty well. He had a whole anti-feminist movement. The Proud Boys was never intended to be racist or sexist or xenophobic. I don't even know anything about them as far as, I'm not part of them. Oh, anomalies. No, I've never joined the Proud Boys. I don't join any group. I'm not a hype beast, but he did it to make fun of feminists. He's like, if you guys are pro-woman, I'm a Proud Boy. Literally, that was the origin of it. Even Joe Rogan, super liberal Joe Rogan admits that. And then what happened to him? Now he's banned from every platform because they blamed a few extremists on him. All of our leaders are disappearing very, very quickly. Owen Benjamin, super hilarious, super funny, super honest, and one of the comedians left that just doesn't give a fuck. And sorry, I cursed, but whatever. It's okay to not care, not give a fuck. I mean, that's what comedians are. That's why I don't listen to Dave Chappelle because he says, I don't want to offend white people because I love white people. I'm Dave Chappelle and I love fat people. I love the gays. I love white people. It's that's not why I listen to Dave Chappelle. I listen to him because he makes fun of white people, and it's absolutely hilarious. One day, he should make fun of white people. So, where's Owen Benjamin? He's banned from Twitter. Where's anybody? They're banning our strongest leaders just like in the Armenian genocide, they rounded people up. Now they're metaphorically doing it. Luckily, not literally murdering people, but who knows? It's the same strategy. That's why they don't talk about the Armenian genocide, and that's why they don't talk about Stalin. Because if you learn about Stalin, if you know it, like, regardless of what you want to say about Hitler, he gained power, well, one, because it was already going downhill, but he gained power through socialist ideology. National Socialist, although he did speak out against Marxism and stuff, he got control of the media, he got control of all of the industry, and he regained control not only by brute force and using racism, but through socialist, communist ideology of, here, give me it, I'll help, I'll stop it, haha, I got it, F you guys. It's very simple. I mean, listen to Yuri Berganov. I share his video, literally, I share it every month. I've been sharing it every month for the past 2 years. He's a Russian defector who worked for the KGB, who worked for the intelligence community of Russia, came to America and told his story of what they do. They don't do spy movies. They don't make Facebook ads. They ideologically subvert United States media through mass media, through Hollywood, through goofy liberals and progressives by brainwashing these people or getting them to self-sabotage. And that's exactly what we're doing. He's like, I had no idea our Russian KGB efforts would be this well. They do it because they know progressives and liberals are weak, naive, and sometimes stubborn. So they've pushed their agenda, their anti-American agenda, through the liberal and progressive over the last 3 decades. And it's all manifesting now. You got to listen to this guy. He's like, I had no idea it would work so well. And the irony of it, he says in his Russian accent, is you'll be squished like a bug. They will kill you first. They don't care. You think black Israelites care about white Jews and white liberals? Are you joking me? And then they'll call me anti-Semitic. I like Jewish people. I probably have 100 Jewish people watching this, which is impressive because they're not a big percentage of the world. But I'm trying to save you from people who hate Jews and hate white people. And they'll spin this out of proportion. They'll squash you like a bug. They use you because you're weak, naive, foolish, pathetic. You're not real men. That's why they go through you. That's why the Islamicists, the black Israelites, any sort of extremist activists, you name it, you can take advantage of the liberal and progressive. If you want to get famous, if you're a total piece of trash and you want to get famous tomorrow, fabricate a fake story that makes white people look bad, fabricate a fake story that makes Trump look bad, fabricate a fake story that makes men look bad, fabricate a fake story that makes Christians or Catholics look bad. But just Catholics, I mean, they're raping people, so that should be bad enough, but I don't know why they need to make this story so they don't talk about the rapes and stuff. God forbid they talked about the fact that there's rapists all over the place. Then do you realize see what I'm saying? They'll talk about these 15-year-old Catholic kids like that. Ooh, there's Catholic kids who love Trump. They're raping kids, and no one cares. That's the big story. That's why, oh, R. Kelly. Yeah, R. Kelly's been dating 14-year-olds for 2 decades. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying there's tens of thousands of other people raping little kids and babies, and nobody cares about it because they just pay attention to Maga hats in Washington, D.C. or wherever it was. Anyway, they don't care about you. Any extremist group can use you and manipulate you. Just do an anti-man, anti-Christian, anti-white, or anti-Trump thing. You'll be on CNN tomorrow. Do you realize I have 250 million views. 250 million. There's only 8 billion people on the planet. I have 250 million views. I'm averaging 2 to 8 million views a week. I've never been on Fox News. I've never been on CNN. They've never had me on the news. They'll have people on the news that I made go viral, and they'll say, this video went viral with 3 million views. It's based off of my video that has 18 million views. There's a reason that I'm never on the news. They don't want you to know what I'm saying. I could be a nobody. I could frame a white Trump supporter. They'd have me on CNN tomorrow. It's not because they care about racism. It's not because they care about sexism, xenophobia, or stopping oppression. They want to divide the country. They want to steal your money. They want you to be so weak, so pathetic, so naive, and so foolish that you walk to the federal government every year and say, here, Instead of $20,000, why don't you take $30,000 from me? Instead of $30,000, why don't you take $70,000 of my money? Why don't you put in individual mandates and force me to hand $10,000 a year to the federal government? And if I don't hand $10,000 a year to the federal government, you guys will tax me 6% or $6,000, and I can't opt out of it. Why don't you take my right to bear arms? Why don't you stop freedom of speech? There's too many mean people out there. Why don't you take away the freedoms of America? They want you to be pathetic. That's why I'm never on the news. It's not because I'm not big enough. It's not because they don't see me. They know who I am. I have 250 million views. You can't not see me. All my friends, my mom keeps sharing your video. I'm everywhere, and I'm not even proud of it. I don't want to be anywhere. I don't want to be famous. I just want people to stop being so stupid so this country doesn't go to crap for all of my younger family members. Very simple. I don't care about any of this. I'd rather be on a beach somewhere. But to be honest, it's not that bad. I appreciate it, and I enjoy being here. But they want you to give your money, power, and control to the federal government. Then they don't have to steal it from you. How easy is that? So with this Native American MAGA hat story, they don't care about black people. They don't care about Hispanics. They don't care about Native Americans. Where were they during the Dakota pipeline protests? Where was CNN? Where was NBC? Where was all of these liberal news outlets? None of them covered the Dakota pipeline protests that Native Americans cared about, or some Native Americans cared about. Probably the conservative ones didn't. They didn't cover it because they don't actually care about Native Americans. I covered the Dakota pipeline protest. Did they? Of course not, but they'll use this one Native American guy beating a drum in a white kid's face for a year now, turn it into the new Charlottesville. At CNN, they're probably so mad that someone didn't die over this, and you got Kathy Griffins and these communist country singers. They hope that somebody dies over this because they're psychopathic, mentally ill losers. Losers. That's what they are. They're grown losers trying to fight a 15-year-old. I'm not fighting with 15-year-olds. I'm fighting with grown adult multimillionaire losers who are trying to threaten little kids for being right. For being right. For being strong. For not being pathetic. You know when they would celebrate these MAGA hat kids? If he took off his MAGA hat, chopped his penis off, threw hormone blockers, and permanently damaged his body while it's still growing, and went around naked and said, I'm free. Then they'd have him on CNN tomorrow if he chopped his dick off, put in hormone blockers. And I'm not saying this to take a knock at the LGBT community. I'm saying it because it's true. He would get better press if he chopped his dick off, put hormone blockers in his body, painted himself gold, and gained 500 pounds. That's not because they love this kid. It's because they hate this kid and they hate your kids. They hate you. They want you to be fat. They want you to be confused. They want you to be weak. They want you to be pathetic, so you think it's a good idea to hand your money, your right to protect yourself, your right for your women to protect yourself, your right for women to do what they want in the Western world, give that to the federal government and extremist groups who want to throw a paper bag over your woman's head and tell her that she's not allowed to leave the religion or they're going to kill her in public. And that's no disrespect to Islam. God bless the world. God bless Jesus Christ. God bless Allah. God bless my Muslim supporters. That's not a knock to Islam. That's the truth about the white liberal and the white progressive in America who lies every single day. Trump calls them the enemy of the people. Oh, why does he do it? Because it's true. Because they hate you. If you want to be strong, if you want to be successful, if you want to be mentally healthy, if you want to be physically healthy, if you want to be in touch with your family and love yourself and love this country and understand that this is like a rare time in history where we actually have more freedom than we've ever had. The ability, my grandparents worked in factories, literally died because they worked in an asbestos factory. You know that? Oh, you're so privileged, Anomaly. My grandma's family came from Puerto Rico. My grandfather died because he worked in an asbestos factory. They told him to work around asbestos, even though it causes cancer. My other grandfather got Alzheimer's. He worked in a mattress factory and was an automotive guy. My grandparents died of asbestos and Alzheimer's. And I came up and I've made something from nothing, from Alzheimer's and asbestos, from nothing, from death. I've rose the ranks in America because it's an amazing place. Women can do whatever the fuck they want because this is an amazing place. And it's not always been an amazing place. And it's not always going to be an amazing place because the fucking white liberal and the black liberal and the Jewish liberal and the Asian liberal and the progressive of all race, religions, and genders wants you to be pathetic and weak and stupid and foolish and, oh, I'm so good because I'm not racist because I posted a Maga hat American video. They want to steal your money. They want to split apart your families. Look at the family rate in the black community from 1960 to now. Shouldn't it be better because of the civil rights era? Shouldn't things be prospering? They're not. The black family is more divided than ever because of the liberal. Because of liberal ideology. They break everyone's family up. Anomaly, you're so mean. If I chopped my dick off, took off all my clothes, ran to the nearest Republican, slapped him in the face, peed on the street, took a crap on the street, and was living on welfare, I would be on CNN tomorrow. That's not because they like us. That's because they fucking hate us. You think there's anything noble about running around naked, slapping a Republican with no dick, talking about how much I love communism? No, it's pathetic and foolish. And they don't like you if you're a trans and you're conservative either. Blair White is a transgender conservative. She gets treated like crap by the press. There was a transgender conservative on Twitter having an intellectual discussion with another transgender woman, and they banned and suspended the transgender libertarian. And they weren't even a normal conservative. They had pictures on their Instagram. They didn't vote for Trump. They voted for Hillary Clinton. They're just not total idiots. And they got suspended by liberals. Liberals are fucking insane. And I love them. I love my progressive friends. I understand a lot of them are just confused. And when you're confused, you confuse everyone else. It's very simple. That's why everyone says, Anomaly, what's your message? Change yourself to change the world. Heal yourself to heal the world. Love yourself to love the world. Fix yourself before you fix the world. Alyssa Milano, she's on TV saying, I'm mentally ill. I had to check into a mental hospital. Yeah, I could tell. I know you're mentally ill, and I'm not making fun of it. It's a real issue. Fix yourself before you fix the country, because you're spreading mental illness to the whole country because you haven't healed yourself, and you're freaking out, and you're not even sound. I understand you're mentally ill. Get help. Stay off Twitter. And stop confusing millions of people. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this as a friend. Kathy Griffin and this communist country star, Walt Walters or something, Johnny Johnson, whatever, he's a little communist, which is weird. Now they're infiltrating country music. He's probably paid by some group to do that. Or he's just an idiot. Who knows? You need help. Fix yourself before you go and trying to fix the whole world. You have a bunch of mentally ill, completely psychopathic people freaking out all over liberal media, acting like they're somehow helping the world. And they're telling you to be, and then they're like, why is opioid use on the rise? Why is suicides on the rise? Because of you. A lot of other reasons, but mostly because of you. Because when people have no families, no sense of direction, no sense of self-accountability, no sense of self-awareness, no self-responsibility, and they look at you and they think what you're doing is a good idea, suicides are going to go up because you're taking the mind, body, soul, and spirit when people have no gratefulness and appreciation. You know why I would never commit suicide? And I'm saying this for protection for myself. I'm fine. I'm not worried or anything. But just know, I would never, I'm not on drugs. I don't do drugs. I drink water. I literally, am one of the most fit people I know. I'm very healthy. I'm not just saying that. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I'm actually very happy and very healthy because I don't listen to them. If I listened to them, I'd be miserable too. I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it to help women and children and kids who wonder why they're confused and lost and they hate themselves and they hate this country and nothing's going right for them. It's a mindset. Listen to Gary Vee or Tony Robbins or Ty Lopez or any sort of mainstream mental person who's not even conservative. They're probably all liberal. Maybe not, but probably. The root of being successful is having a healthy mind, being optimistic, being grateful, not making excuses. The way to be successful on this planet is not being a liberal or progressive mentally. I'm not saying politically. You could do what you want, welfare programs, sure. But you need to be self-empowering. You need to not make excuses. You can't play the victim if you want to win in this world. You think Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan? He got cut from the basketball team? Oh, they're racist. They're racist because they cut. No. He's Michael Jordan because he's not a total pussy. So when he got cut from his high school basketball team, he said, you know what? I'm going to practice and practice and I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them I'm Michael fucking Jordan. And he became Michael fucking Jordan by being really good and not listening to anybody. Very simple. You can't become anything if you revel in your own weakness, delusion, and pathetic ability to blame everyone for everything else, the victim mentality. Here's a perspective change for you. This is the greatest time to be black in America. This is the greatest time to be white in America. Maybe not, but probably. This is the greatest time to be a woman in America. This is the greatest time to be trans in America. This is the greatest time to be an LGBT person in America. This is the greatest time in human civilization ever. We are the lucky, most spoiled, privileged human beings on the planet. Our ancestors had to go hunt food to literally survive. And we're sitting here on Uber Eats saying, oh, I hate Trump, blah, blah, blah. We're the luckiest, most pathetic, privileged humans to ever walk the planet. You didn't have the option to be vegan or on the carnivore diet 300 years ago. You had to eat whatever the fuck your father went and hunted or picked berries for. And you fucking ate it or you die. We're the most pathetic, lucky, privileged generation ever. And God giveth and God taketh. And God is going to taketh from us because we don't appreciate everything. You think I barely ever complain. Like I'm having fun now. Honestly, people think I'm mad. I'm passionate. I have a great time because my grandfathers died from Alzheimer's and asbestos poisoning. And I could sit on my fucking ass, play video games, live stream, and order someone else to come deliver hot prepared meal. Do you realize how fucking lucky we are? Go to a communist country where you need $5,000 for a loaf of bread, you fucking idiots. You realize how lucky I could sit on my ass while 5 people prepare my fucking food, put it in a container that keeps it heated. They give it to fucking somebody else in a car and they come and deliver it to me for $15 fucking dollars, you idiots. $15. Even if you make minimum wage, you make that in 3 hours. In 3 hours, you can have 10 people prepare a meal, give it to someone else, and they'll hand it to your fucking house, you idiots. This is the greatest time ever to be alive. And we're going to squander it because of weak, pathetic, naive people. Some on the right. There's a lot of losers on the right. There's a lot of pathetic weaklings on the right. Right-wing losers. So the liberals don't get mad. There's a lot of pathetic people on the right. But mostly liberals and progressives. The whole fucking ideology is a total fail. It's a fail mentally. It's a fail spiritually. It's a fail physically. It's a, oh yeah, if you're fat, they're like, oh, fit people have a privilege. Yeah, they have a privilege of not fucking disrespecting their bodies so they actually don't have more energy. Oh yeah, it's so terrible. I could literally be 300 pounds. I was getting a little fat for a second. Not really. I have a decent metabolism, good metabolism, but I was getting a little fat. You know what I did? I turned off my fucking computer. I said, I'm 29. I don't want to be fat. I don't even want to be a little bit fat. and I fucking ran 8 miles. And it was harder than ever because I got fat. This is the greatest time ever, and we're squandering it to fake Native American, fake Maga hat stories, promoted by black Israelites, then promoted by white liberals and white Jews who black Israelites fucking hate. It's insane. Thank you guys for listening. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world, because we need God's help right now. Although all the madness is a beautiful time, but you can't frame me to look like the bad person anymore. I mean, you never have, and it doesn't work because everyone knows I'm honest. You know how cool this is? I was at the Women's March yesterday, and a woman who was there with like the Democratic Socialists of America, she was there with a socialist organization. She says, Anomaly, I love your videos. You know how cool that is? I talk about how much I hate socialism all the time, and even the socialists like me. She also said I'm taller in person and I look great. Side note, I'm 6'3" and I'm single. Just throwing it out there, but that's cool. They know I'm telling them the truth. I'm not the friend that's going to lie to you like Bernie Sanders. We're going to fight the establishment. Give me $180 million. We're going to fight the establishment. Give me $180 million. And then as soon as he loses or gets cheated, he didn't really lose. He got cheated every which way by Google, by all of the Twitter. Everybody cheated him. And then he joins the establishment. That's stabbing you in the back. That's not a real friend. And then he had the nerve to say, anybody who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton must have been influenced by the Russians. It's a real... Are you that big of a dick, Bernie Sanders, that you think that every one of your supporters who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton is influenced by Russia? You fucking idiot. There's millions of progressives and Green Party liberals and Democrats and communists who don't fucking like the Democratic Party. Most of them, if not all of them, don't like the Democratic Party. And that's why they didn't vote for him. It's not because Russia ran a Bill O'Reilly Facebook ad targeted to 20 people that said, Trump versus the devil. Duh. Like, you think you think anybody who watches Bill O'Reilly wasn't already going to vote for Trump? They're targeting Bill O'Reilly with a Jesus devil Facebook ad that got 3 shares. I reach more people in a week than Russia does in a year with no money. And they spent $1 million. By the way, I do consultation. If you're a small business or anything, you guys need help. Legendary.vision. I'll help your business. Just throwing it out there. This wasn't a whole sales pitch. I just thought of that. And also, I'm independent. The only reason I'm allowed to do this is because I get crowdfunding and stuff. They don't trust me. No big media outlets or anybody wants to work with me. Nobody's funding me. The Mossad's not funding me. The government's not funding me. Trust me. Nobody probably wants me to say this stuff, but my goodness, please, hopefully, I know it's a long-winded thing. If you can get someone to listen to this, I think it's pretty powerful. If you're a communist, a socialist, a Democrat, a liberal, a black activist, heck, even a black Israelite or whatever, they're probably listening to this shit saying, yo, Anomaly, I don't like the fact that he's conservative, but that's a real-ass motherfucker right there. I know black Israelites watch this shit and know it's real. They don't like white Jews. They don't like white liberals. They know they don't like them. And they know that I know that they don't like them. So we're already on a realer level than them. It's like such goofy stuff. But thank you guys for listening. Have a good weekend. I'm gonna be popping up at events and I'll be around. So thanks for being here. And have a good week. Hopefully this changes a few minds, or at least stops the media narrative of like psychopathic, adult, mentally ill celebrities calling for the violence of children because 15-year-old kids are more wise than they are. See how that works? We can't intellectually stand with you, so we're going to punch kids in the face now. Oh, yeah, it's really liberal, Kathy Griffin. Wow, that's really making me want to vote Democrat. It's ridiculous. The left has absolutely lost its mind. And some conservatives suck too. Have a good day.